Hi, my name is Darlene Short, and I will be presenting the Penney case study that was made by myself and my group members Eric, Alejandro, and Alfonso. Let's get started with the CEO, Ron Johnson. Johnson was VP of Merchandising at Target in the 1990s, and then in 2000, he worked with Steve Jobs to develop Apple retail stores and the Genius Bar concepts. Johnson was considered the Steve Jobs of the retail industry. And when JCPenney announced that Johnson would be their new CEO, their stock jumped up 18%. JCPenney was founded by James Cass Penney in 1902 and was one of the first department stores in the United States. They once had over 2,000 stores, and it went down to 1,100 as of 2012. The Golden Rule was the name of their first store in Wyoming, and that's how Penney wanted to treat his customers. Fair and Square was introduced by Johnson in 2012. The idea was to offer great prices with every day with less frequent promotions. Johnson wanted his customers to feel like there was no games or gimmicks when it came to prices. He even invited customers to do the math and verify that the new prices were saving them more money. General environmental analysis. First, in 2007, there was an economic recession that made it hard for all realtors because customers became very frugal. Customers were spending less money on clothes and in department stores. The middle market retailers were hit the hardest, like JCPenney. This was a threat to JCPenney because their stores were old, faded, disorganized, and the merchandise were starting to be old-fashioned. Also, it was a threat because about 400 of their stores were in small towns. This affected JCPenney negatively because in 2008, their stock performance dropped below 50% from 80%, and their net income dropped to $572 from $1,110 million. Following this recession, there were several store closings and a decline of their market share. Next, online retailing was a new trend in the department store industry. Johnson believed that brick and mortar were still relevant and that physical stores were the best place to buy merchandise for the next 50 years. Even with Johnson's views, JCPenney had to take an opportunity in online retailing to expand their company. As a result, in 2001, their catalog and web sales together were nearly $3.4 billion. It's harder for JCPenney to survive the industry because of international clothing retailers like H&M and Zara enter the U.S. market aggressively. The international retailers succeeded on short product life cycles and partnership with top designers at low prices. This was a threat to JCPenney because there was more competition and their sales in 2011 were lower than they ever were in the 1990s. For industry analysis, industry rivalry, when comparing department stores to JCPenney, the most similar stores would be Sears and Kohl's. They have similar square footage and they're all near or connected to shopping malls. They have similar merchandise and have similar customer bases. For threat of new entrants, international clothing retailer stores such as H&M and Zara use fast fashion merchandise to provide low prices, adapt quickly to change, and try to keep up with current trends. For threat of substitute, if JCPenney lower their prices and quality, then they'll have threats of substitute from Walmart and Target. But then if they increase their quality and price, then JCPenney would have threats of substitute from Macy's. For power of suppliers, one prominent supplier was increasing its business with Kohl's, just to make up for the decrease of business it had with JCPenney. If the supplier decided to do business with JCPenney, they could negotiate a better deal. Power of buyers. JCPenney knows that customers can check prices online to shop for deals. To beat the online retailing, JCPenney knew that customers could come into their store to try on their clothes and to interact with many stores like Sephora. Some buyers still wanted to receive coupons and special offers instead of the fair and square pricing. Competitor analysis. JCPenney had several competitors that included Macy's, Walmart, Target, Gap, and Sears. One of the most prominent competitors was Macy's because they made a significant investment of their future on the online retailing. JCPenney was once a leader in the multi-channel commerce and has strained in the years leading up to 2012. But Kohl and Macy's both experienced an online sales. This was the best advantage for Macy's. The ease of access through their mobile and online option made their store more desirable to customers. When analyzing Exhibit 4 e-commerce sale growth, in the case shows that JCPenney experienced a compound annual growth rate of just 9.4% over the past 7 years as 2011. This is compared to Macy's at 38.5% and Kohl's at 42.7% at the same time span. This shows how significant online retailing has on the industry. Now for internal analysis. Johnson made major changes in the company. The first change was to get a brand new spokesperson, Ellen DeGeneres, a comedian and talk show host. This announcement received negative responses from a Christian group called 1 Million Moms. They took it very offensive because of her homosexuality was a problem for JCPenney's brand image and traditional family shopper demographic. Members were encouraging people to even boycott JCPenney and requesting they remove Ellen. As a result, Ellen defended her personal views on her show, and with her increase of fans, her message went viral on social media. Overall, this was a strength for JCPenney because they supported Ellen and they survived this dilemma. Overall, they received significant amounts of positive press. Next, JCPenney sales clerks were always paid on commission, and they were encouraged to sell very aggressively. Johnson believed that their teams should be more product experts, and that commission did not fit their new fair and square strategy. As a result, Johnson eliminated all commission pay, and this weakened their relationship with their employees. Employees took the decision as an offense because it decreased their pay and they felt like it was destroying them. And one of the biggest changes that Johnson made was using a new pricing strategy. Since JCPenney was open, they had a high-low pricing strategy, but because it became unsuccessful, customers were getting too addicted to deals. Just to get a customer to buy something from JCPenney had to give a discount of a 38% to 60% sale on the items. They even spent over $1 billion on price promotions to get the customer's attention. Johnson implemented their new fair and square pricing in 2012 to try to save the company. JCPenney reduced their products prices by 40% to give the customers an everyday fair and square price. The concept was that items would be listed at their best price every day. Next, they offered monthly long values events that gave special markdowns to up to 29% on seasonals like back to school and Father's Day. JCPenney even eliminated their well-known doorbuster sales that held on Black Friday. They even had a motto that they could not use the word sales or clearance. But they did offer a happy returns policy that allowed customers to return items without a receipt. Johnson even invented a Best Price Fridays. They had special offers on items that they wanted to liquidate on the 1st and 3rd of every month on a Friday. All coupons and weekly ads were eliminated and replaced with high-quality glossy magazines. JCPenney tried to push the stores with an advertising campaign with a commercial of Ellen. She was to get customers to stand up against complex pricing and never-ending sales and over-mailing coupons in their mailboxes. This new pricing strategy was very successful for the company in the first 3 months because 67% of their products were sold at this fair and square pricing. After this period, the company went on a downhill fall. Customers reacted very negatively to the changes, and their loyal customers no longer received coupons, and decided to stop shopping at JCPenney. They thought the trip wasn't even worth it if they weren't getting a discount. Customers were even commenting that the bargains were harder to find and the deals weren't even posted. These reactions dramatically weakened the company because in JCPenney's first earnings report showed from the new pricing launch that $163 billion earning loss and sales revenue dropped 19%, e-commerce dropped 28%, and the company's stock dropped 20%. Articles reported that JCPenney wasn't fun anymore to shop at, and there was no reason to even go to the store. Even apparel suppliers were nervous about the change because their sales dropped 70% over the previous years. JCPenney failed to realize coupons were extremely addictive to their customers, and that they had to communicate and educate their customers on their new concept. Johnson altered their strategy to appeal to customers by bringing back Memorial Day weekend sales and Black Friday. Also, John added 5 additional Best Fridays to the year. And then Johnson even tried to simplify their concept by changing the name of Best Price Fridays to Clearance and taking away the name of Fair and Square from the everyday price. JCPenney had high hopes that their customers will understand their pricing and now bring their sales higher. Now for the questions. We said that we would terminate Ron Johnson. The first reason for the termination would be because, first, JCPenney's earnings report. JCPenney's earnings report showed an extreme downhill and that it plummeted 19% after the Johnson's Fair and Square pricings in their sales. The second reason was that he did not test the Fair and Square model in a store before taking action in the whole company. Testing the new plan before taking it in action would have saved the company money and customers. Third, the termination would be that Johnson did not understand his customers, and that eliminating coupons and clearance would make their customers become very angry and decide to go shop at other places. Johnson's new Fair and Square model was not executed properly, but it wasn't the main problem. Instead, strategy was the main problem. Stockholders were quick to realize that the time was not going to change in the negative customer response to the new plan. Johnson failed to realize that many customers enjoyed walking to JCPenney looking for that best new deal and clearance item. These type of JCPenney customers were always shopping regardless of how poor the company was performing. With the new plan, eliminating bargains such as coupons and huge sales made these customers not worth a trip to JCPenney. We would have rehired Mike Lurham to replace Ron Johnson due to the fact that his new plan did not fit the company well. Johnson failed to realize that his plan would not work even after various warning signs, which included financial losses and the company's stock decreasing 20%. Implementing a whole new plan would have been the obvious choice to eliminate the losses, but he decided that his new plan just needed time. His negligence resulted in the loss of customers and money. Now let's talk about strategy formulation. We have 3 strategies that JCPenney can pursue. The first one to do is to revert their high to low pricing strategy, to reintroduce incentives for employees as sales commission, and 3, invest in e-commerce and advertising their Fair and Square pricing strategy. Reverting price strategies will give customers the sense of exclusivity with coupons and restore the sensation of getting a deal during their sales. The second option of introducing sales commissions could help undo the lack of sales the company experienced. This option is interesting because although it seems like a rather small adjustment, this decision can have a negative effect because it does not consist with their current pricing strategy. The third option and our best choice would be to invest in e-commerce and marketing. In doing so, the company could stick with the Fair and Square pricing strategy and leave sales commissions out of the equation, but show the customer and staff the value in doing so. The company has long missed out on the benefits of online shopping and has failed to provide the convenience offered by other retailers. First, the company would have to hire experts on e-commerce and advertising their new strategy for pricing. They would have to redesign their website to have the most convenient and the most easiest for their customers to navigate. Also, they need to have a page showing the values and the simplest definition of the fair and square pricing strategies and how it is the best strategy for the company and how it benefits the customer, as this will help reduce the negative feedback and the misunderstanding as how it was first introduced in 2012. Also, the company can also advertise the removal of sales commissions as part of their new approach to please customers and treating the customer the way the Penney himself wanted to be treated. This could be their way of reintroducing the core values that the company was founded on. Employees could also be shown that the value and the loss of commission by explaining it's better to sell a customer experience, and it gives the employee a relief and pressure and the aggressive competition of getting sales, and also giving them an experience that could expand online. Overall, JCPenney was once the biggest retail stores in the country, but due to rising competition, it began to lose market share. After hiring new CEO Johnson, we immediately decided that he was not the leader for JCPenney. He planned to attract new customers and regain market share, but did not. Ultimately, it backfired and resulted in losing many loyal customers that helped JCPenney stay afloat. The suggestions that we have made to create JCPenney include investing in e-commerce heavily and reintroducing the fair and square strategy. These ideas may help JCPenney please their existing customers and bringing in new customers. We believe taking these steps will help JCPenney to able to compete at a higher level in the competition and also regaining their sales and reintroducing some old values that Penney himself believed that the company needed. Thank you.